From the first-time author Emmanuel Kirunda came the thought-provoking, inspiring book, The Fourth Heritage, a book that creates a guideline on how Africans can integrate what Professor Mazrui called the Africans' triple heritages of tribe, religion, and European cultural heritages.
I found it very interesting in the ideas that the author puts across. They are new. First of all, I hadn't read them anywhere else. They might not have been new, but certainly it's the first time I was encountering such ideas.
I was curious, and I'm like, what is this fourth heritage? And he kept talking about a paradigm shift. That even intrigued me more.
The book is addressing a fundamental issue of Africans in crisis. We have a culture clash, and so the book helps to identify what is called a fourth heri, which helps Africans to emerge from the identity crisis.
I think African young people go through a process of conflict with identity, discovering who they actually are.
Which in my view, is very core in terms of how we see ourselves as Africans, and that in itself informs almost every aspect of our society, whether it's leadership. You can't have a leadership, for example, that is not confident in terms of who they are and how they are rooted in the African society.
A book that is about how to attain the paradigm shift in African identity. The Fourth Heritage provides a profound solution to the core problem we have as Africans, the changing of mindsets.
The fact that as Africans, and what the book says, that when you're born as African, or particularly Ugandan, you have three heritages. So what he is proposing is that as Africans, as Ugandans, to succeed, we need to embrace a heri, some form of work ethic.
That it's important to identify yourself, recognizing the various heritages as explained in the book that influence or have effects on who we are, and then eventually coming to a final decision on what one is.
The book provokes you to think beyond your comfort levels.
For example, the thought that we combine our own traditional beliefs, the European way of thinking, and all these ideas, but yet we've done very little to choose them to our advantage.
This is how he puts it in his book. I see that helping us to think deeply about ourselves, and if we really want to move forward, if we really want to grow as a people, if we want to develop, I see us having to look at the principles that he lays out in this book and solving this problem of lack of heri.
I would recommend this book to other people to read because I think it's interesting and it's very thought-provoking. It definitely gets you thinking about various things, about how young African people become who they are, what sort of identity they choose to take on, and how it's affected by various things.
I would recommend The Fourth Heritage because it presents a concrete set of solutions for us as Ugandans, as Africans, to define a new culture, a new ethic, and thereby succeed.
I would recommend The Fourth Heritage because for someone to be able to appreciate the ideas in it, of course, you have to read it. Two, because it is until someone fully appreciates the idea behind this book that they're able to tell another person. And slowly by slowly, if I can tell someone, then the gospel spreads.
I think when you read the book, you certainly get that sense that its application does not only end in Africa. It could rightly be applied in other places in the world, other cultures, even in Europe. I think Europeans could benefit from reading it. And what I hope the author could do perhaps in future is try to extrapolate these ideas to other people's existences, not necessarily restricting them to Africa.
And now, introducing Mr. Kirunda's third book, Beyond the Fourth Heritage, the book that is taking the ideas of the first book and expanding them beyond Uganda and Africa. Get to know about how one born in any part of the world, in any culture, could use rationality and consciousness to go beyond the heritages of his or her birth.
In this third and last book, I use a very simple but fundamental concept to show that the actual limit to each of our three heritages is the beginning of each person's will to live, and also the beginning of each person feeling like a co-creator in this enterprise called life. Following the publication of the first book, I received a lot of positive, encouraging feedback from a lot of friends and former strangers, both on the internet and also through word of mouth. Many of you also attended my events, firstly in Texas, in Pennsylvania, Chicago, and also in Uganda. I hope after July 2016, you can get in touch with me so we can have book events in any part of the world. But for now, you can visit my website and also get in touch with me on social media. And when the book comes out, it will be on Amazon, both in ebook and paper version. Thank you very much.
Beyond the Fourth Heritage, a personal view on how to transcend our heritages of birth. Coming out this July 2016.